United States imposed many policies upon Japanese Americans. Most controversially, Japanese Americans were shuffled into internment camps regardless of ancestry in the United States or citizenship. Some Japanese Americans resisted internment, whether that be refusing to move or pursuing litigation. In the case of Fred Korematsu, he did both. Most surprisingly, Fred actually changed his name and got plastic surgery to make him appear less Japanese.
It's a vacuum cleaner repair company.
What'd you expect? Haji's quick vanish?
Nevertheless, on May 30th, 1942, Korematsu was arrested for not reporting to a relocation center. Anyway, why should you even care about this court case? I mean, it's not even on the AP exam. Well, just consider this book I'm reading. You could have all the books in the world, but they wouldn't mean anything. Basically, textbooks are nothing if you don't read them. In the same way, what is liberty if no one cares to check it out? How do we know about liberty, but we just forgot about the cases like Korematsu versus the United States? Anyway, back to the show. Eventually, Fred made his way up to the Supreme Court, and the proceedings are pretty straightforward. However, the outcome of this case may surprise you. Even before reaching the Supreme Court, the lower courts ruled against Korematsu regarding military necessity or Executive Order 9066. In a federal court in San Francisco, Korematsu was convicted of violating military orders, which led to his eventual appearance in the Supreme Court. Korematsu argued that his constitutional rights had been infringed, citing the Fifth Amendment that forbids revoking freedom without due process of law and the Equal Pro Clause of the 14th Amendment. Korematsu also argued that there was no proof of Japanese Americans being harmful to the war effort. In response, the United States argued that the President was allowed to issue the Executive Order 9066 because he is Commander-in-Chief, which was defined in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, and there was a threat to the country, that being the war in Japan. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in favor of the United States, upholding the executive order issued by Roosevelt. The majority opinion issued by Justice Black said that it was in the United States war power to place Japanese Americans into internment camps. There were a handful of American values associated with the ruling of this case, but since I have no idea about those, I'm gonna pass it off to him.
In this case, two core American values were under attack: equality of opportunity and liberty. The equality of opportunity for all Japanese Americans was stripped away by this executive order. They were forced into internment camps and weren't allowed to pursue their interests and other opportunities such as jobs or doing other things a normal American citizen would do. Their liberty was also stripped away by this executive order since they were forced out of their homes and put in these internment camps without any say about the matter.
So, in the wake of this decision, what do modern conservatives and liberals have to say?
As a liberal, I really hate this decision. I'm more in favor of individual liberties over social order, so I think this expansion of government power is basically tyranny because it's allowing the government to forcibly relocate citizens anywhere without any evidence or causation behind their decisions.
Modern-day conservatives tend to favor social order over individual liberties, so they would be in favor of that aspect of this executive order. But because they also are fearful of the federal government and tend to favor states' rights, they would not like that part of the court case.
Now, let's see what some Federalists have to say. George Washington, what's your opinion on the outcome of Korematsu versus the United States? I think what he was trying to say is that the Federalists would likely agree with the decision because it's an expansion of federal power via enumerated rights and executive orders. But some of his contemporaries like Jefferson and Madison would likely disagree because it empowers the federal government to a degree that was completely unimaginable during their time.
In this decision, the federal government would be considered the winner if you were to weigh the benefits to the federal government and the state governments. The federal government had their powers expanded. They now have the ability to move citizens from one area into another area forcibly, like in times of war, while the state government has no say in the matter. They just have their citizens moved by the federal government into different internment camps. The federal government just has this looming power to move citizens of a certain state somewhere else.
But Jack, what happened to the cases after this when this signed? Was it used as a precedent somewhere? I got this.
Korematsu v. United States was later used as a precedent in the case of Trump versus Hawaii in 2018. President Trump had issued a travel ban on people immigrating to the U.S. from mainly majority Muslim countries. President Trump in his defense claimed the reason for this ban was that the selected countries refused to share information about terror with the U.S., while Hawaii claimed that the ban was motivated by the religious makeup of the countries. And the court ruled in favor of President Trump. The majority found that President Trump did not exceed his powers under the Immigration and Nationality Act, and that the ban passed the rational basis test because President Trump provided legitimate national security interests. The court rejected the idea that the powers of the president had abroad did not apply to those already in the United States.
Wait. Go ahead. No.